Imagine the first day of a new school year, much like the dawn of a revolution. Think of the tentative steps of young revolutionaries in Les Miserables, hearts pounding with uncertainty, the air thick with the scent of chalk dust and unspoken fears. In Yano kun's Ordinary Days, Episode 1, released on September 30th, 2025, we plunge into this familiar yet fraught territory, where the ordinary high school hallway becomes a battlefield of quiet anxieties and hidden wounds. It's the kickoff to a fall anime season rom-com arc that whispers of budding affection amid chaos, much like how Romeo first glimpses Juliet across a crowded ballroom. Innocent, inevitable, laced with peril. I was struck immediately by the episode's gentle tug at the heartstrings, a subtle invitation to wonder. What if your greatest vulnerability was the key to someone else's tenderness? It's intriguing, isn't it? You feel the cool linoleum under your feet, hear the distant echo of lockers slamming like fate's decree, and suddenly, you're there, pulse quickening, yearning to uncover what lies beneath the bandages. But hold back, don't rush ahead. Let the curiosity simmer, compelling you to press play and chase the answers yourself. Picture this, a classroom buzzing like a beehive in spring, reminiscent of those iconic scenes in Stand By Me where youth grapples with the raw edges of friendship and fear. Episode 1 picks up seamlessly from the manga's opening chapter, where the high school routine is disrupted by a boy who arrives late, his body a canvas of scrapes and bruises, echoing the weary soldiers returning from ancient battles like those in Homer's Iliad. Kyoko Yoshida, the diligent class president with a heart as vast as an ocean, can't ignore it. Her concern builds from previous hints in the source material. Manga readers know her nervous temperament stems from a deeper well of responsibility, like a guardian watching over a fragile flame. She shadows him, her steps tentative as a detective in a noir film, only to reveal his secret. Not malice, but sheer clumsiness, a series of mishaps that cascade like dominoes in a Chaplin comedy. The episode transitions forward with a hospital visit that feels like a turning point, much as Harry's first train ride to Hogwarts shifts from mundane to magical. Yet, details are held back. Why the persistent eye patch? Is it a scar from a forgotten war within himself? The manga clarifies this cloudy aspect subtly in early chapters. It's tied to a past injury impairing his depth perception, explaining his endless tumbles without veering into tragedy. You're left on the edge, aren't you? The air heavy with unspoken questions, the taste of antiseptic lingering, drawing you deeper into their world, making you crave the full revelation that only watching can provide. The narrative advances like a slow-burning fuse in a heist film, think Ocean's 11, where every small twist builds toward explosive payoff. Key revelations emerge organically. Yano's isolation isn't just physical clumsiness but a self-imposed exile to shield others, a motif echoed in the manga's early arcs where his ordinary days are laced with quiet resignation. The plot twist, Kyoko's bold quasi-confession at the hospital, offering to mend his wounds, propels the story from worry to budding intimacy faster than expected, avoiding the drawn-out pining of many rom-coms. Pacing is brisk yet balanced, with early setup giving way to heartfelt climax, though a mid-episode lull mirrors those contemplative moments in Your Lie in April, allowing emotional breath. Cliffhangers loom subtly. Will Yano accept her help without more chaos? Fan inquiries often circle the cloudy eye patch. The light novel echoes, though sparse, and manga confirm it's no mere gimmick but a symbol of lingering trauma, perhaps from a childhood accident, enriching his vulnerability. This isn't just progression, it's a seductive unraveling, pulling you in like gravity, making you question your own guarded heart. What would you risk for such connection? Kyoko emerges as a beacon of empathy, her psychological depth akin to Elizabeth Bennet's in Pride and Prejudice. Caring yet conflicted, her motivations rooted in sibling-like duty that blossoms into something deeper. Her choice is surprise. Tailing Yano feels impulsive yet true, transforming her from anxious observer to active pursuer. Yano, meanwhile, carries hidden wounds like a war veteran from Hemingway's tales. His clumsiness masks loneliness, his dialogue sparse but poignant, consistent with a boy who's learned to laugh off pain. Growth hints at transformation. The manga delves further, showing how Kyoko's persistence chips at his walls, revealing a desire for normalcy. Their interplay is transformative, isn't it? You sense the tremor in their voices, the brush of fingers on bandages, as if you're witnessing your own unspoken crushes unfold. Beyond romance, the episode probes profound questions. What does it mean to sacrifice for another's hope amid despair? Power lies not in grand gestures others but in quiet care, manifesting in Kyoko's first aid kit like a talisman against isolation, echoing the moral dilemmas in Camus' The Plague where everyday heroism combats existential loneliness. Survival here is emotional. Yano's bruises symbolize life's random cruelties, while Kyoko's hope offers redemption. It's visceral. You feel the sting of rejection, the warmth of acceptance, pondering your own battles. How far would you go to heal someone's ordinary pains? The high school universe expands modestly, introducing cultural rules like class rep duties that complicate budding feelings, much like the rigid societies in Jane Austen's novels. New lore? Yano's home life hints at absent support, enriching the slice-of-life fabric without overwhelming. The script is sharp as a scalpel, poetic in its simplicity. Lines like Kyoko's offer to make your days ordinary carry foreshadowing weight, resonating like Atticus Finch's wisdom in To Kill a Mockingbird. No cliches. Instead, impactful brevity that haunts post-credits, evoking the silent tensions in real-life confessions. You're there, breath held, words hanging like mist. What unspoken truths hide in your own conversations? Animation by Ajiadu captivates with fluidity reminiscent of Studio Ghibli's Ocean Waves, soft colors, gentle lighting that casts shadows like whispered secrets, symbolizing Yano's hidden depths. Stillness in close-ups amplifies emotion, movement in gags bursts with comedic energy, shaping a world where beauty means vulnerability exposed. Direction employs intimate camera angles like over-the-shoulder shots during Kyoko's worry, mirroring Hitchcock's tension in Rear Window, editing rhythms pulsing with heartbeats. The soundtrack haunts like a forgotten melody. Motifs swell in tender moments, silence roars in revelations, burning into memory as in Spirited Away's poignant quietudes. Voice acting embodies souls. Yuka Nuki's Kyoko trembles with genuine care, Kohei Amasaki's Yano infuses timbre with resigned charm, Atsumi Tanazaki's may add supportive intensity, drawing you into their essence as if they're confiding in you personally. This episode left me scarred with sweetness, a collision of destinies at the hospital bed, shifting everything like the pivotal kiss in Casablanca, evoking wonder amid ache. I felt the weight of Kyoko's bag, the sting of Yano's bruises, questioning universal truths. In a world of hidden hurts, isn't love the ultimate bandage? It provokes hope against despair, leaving philosophical echoes that mirror our own quests for connection. Don't you feel it too? The pull toward vulnerability, the spark of curiosity about what mends a broken ordinary. Employing reverse reading, the fast pacing might seem opaque, but it's a deliberate choice, accelerating intimacy to mirror life's sudden affections, much like whirlwind romances in history's great love stories. Complexity in Yano's gimmick risks repetition, yet it enriches thematic depth. Opacity around his past builds suspense, not confusion. I appreciate the wholesome charm, though measured critique notes it may not hook those craving high stakes. Still, its grounded warmth triumphs. Episode 1 excels in narrative heart and artistic grace, minor lulls notwithstanding, succeeding as a seductive rom-com gateway. Strengths lie in endearing characters and visual poetry. Weaknesses, in potential gimmick fatigue. Yet, as the credits fade, a poetic question lingers. What if your next ordinary day held the bandage to a lifetime's wounds? Watching isn't optional. It's the next breath in your own unfolding story, a journey you must embark upon to heal the curiosity burning within. Have you ever traced the faint scar of a stumble not on skin, but on spirit? Its jagged line tasting of copper and regret on your tongue as rain-slicked streets reflect your faltering steps, the chill of puddles seeping through soles like the slow seep of solitude into a day designed for defeat, or caught the acrid whiff of burnt toast mingling with morning mist, where each mishap stacks like dominoes in a dimly lit kitchen, brushing your fingertips like the ghost of opportunities fumbled, urging you to question if fate's cruel choreography is curse or concealed cadence. In Yano Kun's Ordinary Days Episode 2, A Lovely Portrait, aired October 8, 2025, this symphony of setbacks harmonizes within the series' nascent arc of serendipitous shadows, extending Episode 1's chance encounter, Yano's perpetual peril intersecting Yoshida's quiet curiosity, into a delicate duet of observation and unspoken alliance amid the mundane mayhem of high school halls. Echoing the resilient rhythms of Charlie Chaplin's Tramp in modern times, tripping through industrial indignities with a twinkle amid the tumble, or the poignant plot of Forrest Gump's cross-country quests, running from rejection toward reluctant revelation, it delves into identity's insistent itch. What portrait emerges when misfortune's brushstrokes paint not despair, but the quiet dignity of enduring? I lingered in its light, the episode's intrigue a velvet veil, tender in its tumbles, yet threaded with a tension that tugs like an untied shoelace on a crowded crosswalk. Can you feel it, that sudden slip on rain-glossed pavement in a sun-dappled schoolyard, the faint floral scent of a classmate's concern cutting through the chaos like a lifeline in Hemingway's storm-tossed seas? The frame doesn't force the fall, it frames the fortitude, each unscripted stumble a summons. What hidden harmony might your own ordinary ordeals orchestrate if you dared to dance with the disarray. From episode 1's fortuitous fray, Yano's cascade of calamities captivating Yoshida's compassionate gaze, her silent surveillance a spark in his shadowed routine. This second sketch sharpens the strokes, delving into the daily deluge that defines Yano's existence. Pencils sharpened to perilous points, lunches laced with ludicrous lapses, each incident a ink blot bleeding into the broader canvas of classroom camaraderie. Yoshida, drawn deeper into this doodle of disasters, extends tentative tendrils of aid, her interventions a bridge from bystander to budding bond, while fleeting flashbacks flicker like faulty film strips, hinting at histories hidden beneath the humor. Clubroom confabs and corridor collisions converge, introducing ensemble echoes that enrich the ensemble, pivoting the plot from isolated incidents to intertwined trajectories. It transitions the tale from solitary sketches to shared strokes, each mishap a mark mapping toward mutual mending. Imagine yourself in Yano's scuffed sneakers, the sharp sting of a paper cut piercing your palm amid the hum of history lessons, the bitter bite of a botched bento burning your throat like the swallowed pride in Austen's drawing room dilemmas. Does the dread of another downfall dampen your stride, or does its absurdity summon a defiant grin? The narrative notches its nuances nimbly, each panel a prelude to the portrait unfinished. What veiled vignettes might the next brush reveal? Episode 2 paints the plot with the precision of a Pointillists, advancing Yano's arc from accidental acquaintance to affectionate alliance. Revelations of resilient routines. Yano's unlock a lens on life's lottery, blooming into a twist of tender teamwork, where Yoshida's interventions ignite interpersonal insights, culminating in a cliffhanger that teases trials transcending the trivial. Pacing palettes with purposeful poise, languid lulls of luckless lunacy yielding to lively leaps of levity, balancing dramatic depth like the measured mixes in Van Gogh's swirling skies, introspective impastos amplifying the ensemble's eventual eruption. Equilibrium endures elegantly, though fans fret over cloudy aspects. Yano's unluck, supernatural snare or satirical slight, Yoshida's swift sympathy, a fervor that flares without full foundation. The episode's episodic essence, vignettes veering from vignette without visible vector. Drawn from manga's chapters 2 to 4, Yui Tamura's serialized strokes in Comic Days, commencing 2021, where the adaptation amplifies effective accents for animated allure. These mists manifest as motivic maneuvers. Yano's misfortune, detailed in Chapter 3's digressions as exaggerated everyday entropy, inspired by Tamura's author notes on Murphy's Law magnified for mirth. Not a cult but optimistic ode to ordinary ordeals, clarifying confusion as comedic cadence. Yoshida's zeal, expounded in Chapter 4's flashbacks as fostered from familial foibles. Her portrait proclivity a personal prism for perceiving potential in peril, enriching the real with relational rhythms. The segmented style, inferred in interstitial inks, underscores slice-of-life sovereignty. Episodes as easels for standalone strokes, transforming opacity into operatic overture. This brush doesn't blot, it blends, binding banalities as Bildungsroman's backbone. The portraits pulse with profound pigment, souls shaded like chiaroscuro in candlelit canvases. Yano emerges as the episode's enduring enigma, his veiled vulnerability the veneer of verbal voids, Unluck's legacy a lattice of lost confidences, motivations meshed with mirth's moxie masking marginalization's malaise, choices, embracing embarrassment in escapades, entreating empathy with enigmatic ease, consistent in their cautious charisma yet transformative, surprising in a shimmer of self-acceptance that shatters his stoic shell, evoking the emergent elegies of Charlie Brown in Schultz's scribbled strips, where perpetual pitfalls propel poignant progress. Yoshida sketches as sympathetic spectator, her hidden hunger for harmony beneath the helper's helm, growth glimpsed in guiding gestures that ground her goodwill, ensemble echoes like Onikawa Orient as optimistic overseers, their encouragements an elixir of empathy, consistent, as composed canvases, transformative, in the portrait's reveal, yes, evolution etched in every extension embraced. The episode excavates endurance's elastic enigma, potency's provisional pivot in perseverance, where ethics elasticizes in the embrace of empathy, ablation the oblique offering of oblivion for the oracle of otherness unveiled. Past placards, these pigments proliferate via pursuits. Yano's unluck a philosophical pivot on presence's potency, incarnating in Yoshida's sympathy, fortune's fragments as filial fortitude, a subsistence signal echoing Epictetus' stoic strides or the sacrificial sketches in the Little Prince's planetary peregrinations. Does aspiration's arabesque armor the anima, or does despondency's downbeat delineate the divide? Clubroom camaraderie probes the precipice. Community as canvas, determination's a dance of divergence reclaimed amid conformity's crush. Mythos multiplies meticulously. The school's social strata, unluck as unspoken undercurrent, clubs as communal crucibles, embellishes the expanse with edicts of echoed existence, where everyday's ethos mythos twines with high school's humdrum, convoluting the chronicle with convergences of culture and crisis, history's hapless heroes haunting the hyper-real. Hallways. Tamura's tapestry, adapted with Arter's artistry, lacerates like a latent line, incisive as an inset icon, lyrical in its laconic lilt, transfiguring trope into trenchant toasts. Yano's quips quiver with quiet quirk, presaging partitions that pulse post-pull like the poignant pleas in a silent voice's silenced soliloquies. Yoshida's sympathies, yoked with yokel yowls, reverberate with the roar of renegade refrains. Potent, pervasive, each locution a lure of legacy and levity, legating you to the lore. Catch Onikawa's optimistic overture overflow like a mentor's muse in Stand By Me's Riverside Revelations. Does it hone your heart, this oratorical oscillation? The lexicon doesn't lecture. It limbs, each lacuna a lure to the legend lurking. Agiato's artistry arcs with agile allure, fluid flurries of fumbling falls, forms flickering in flexible finery that symbolize shifting semblances, sepia swells stark against scholastic cyan, lighting layers longing, lantern-lit lulls gilding gatherings, umbras undulating in uncanny upsurges to evoke existential entanglement. Stasis in Yano's ruminative repositions relents to riotous rushes of rhythm, beauty a bittersweet brew, not bauble, but beacon, the counterpoint of chroma and crepuscule chiseling catharsis from chimera. The vista's verve, sweeping shots of stumble stutter paralleling multiplicity's maelstrom, proximate portraits pinning pupils in pantomime's pinch, montages. Measured measures mirroring mimesis that magnifies malaise, akin to Ozu's Tokyo Story gazes into the gulf. Configurations cradle cataclysms, each vista a vault for the viscera's vaulting. The score summons as spectral summoner, incipit's jaunty jangle gelling into jaunty japes, acoustic arcs surging like sepia specters, bewitching blanks with balladry's balm, apotheoses ascending in anthem assaults that abrade like artificial adversaries. Quietude quests quintessentially in quartered quarters, a refrain redolent over any route, incising acoustic aftereffects akin to the Tamura's ensemble, a velvet vibrato laced with laryngeal ache, coils camaraderie with coy craving, enunciations excavating the echoes, and snaring you in the sonics as if your timbre might temper the tumult. This episode etched an exquisite unease, euphoria's echo ebbing into empathy, wonder wakened at Yoshida's whimsical watch, scars from Yano's yearned yet yoked youth that scar like the calluses of ceaseless counts in the pursuit of happiness as pavement plods. Moments of mandated mirth left luminous legacies, sparks in the portrait's sudden surge igniting an insurgent introspection. The climax converges as canvas's cataclysm, a destiny's duet where pulses precipitate into packs, refracting the rhythm's raw reality. It summons eternal queries. In the portrait of our persistent pains, do we dissolve in the downbeat of doubt, or does the ordinary's fervor forge the heart's haphazard harmony? Feel that flicker, reader, comparable to the artist's agonies in Girl with a pearl earring's gilded gazes. Raw, relentless, rippling through ribs, the reverberations remain, a routine unrepeated through reverse reading, the contemplative cadences, pacing's patient palette, the opacity of unluck's origins, might murmur as muddle, intricacies ink rusting into incomprehensibles. Yet reframe. These are rhythmic radicals, thematic throbs echoing Tamura's textured tableaus, where veils of vulnerability invite the viewer's vigilant voyage. Yano's quandaries a deliberate decrescendo to the dawn. Appreciation arcs over critique, visceral virtuosity as vanguard, though a brisker brush to broader beats might bolster the beginners. Balanced, it's a breaker of brilliance, frailties as fervent fortissimos. Episode 2 triumphs in its textured tableau, character crevices carved with compassionate care, narrative nuances navigating nebulae of nexus, an artistic assault that alchemizes Tamura's tale into tactile tumult. Weaknesses, whispered in the wings, fleeting phrase informs flux, occasional overload of ostinatos. It succeeds supremely, a spell of sketch and soul, narrative notes nailed to the nexus. Yet ponder this, the promise that pricks like a pencil's point poised. What if the portrait you postpone is the one that portrays your purpose? Watching isn't whim, it's the stroke through your sketchbook, the descent into the daily where your dormant designs demand their due. Dip the brush. The ordinary awaits your outline.